What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage, and I am coming to you live with Hunter Marckwardt from California. How you doing, bro?
Can I just tell everybody? It's like
Yeah,
Dave,
go ahead.
he introduces me every single time as Hunter Marckwardt, and my last name does not have an ITZ on it, and it's like it's Marckwardt, and he cannot. Dave Savage of Mortgage Coach cannot say Marckwardt if his life depended on it.
Marckwardt. I got it.
But you're acting like there's some huge issue between Mark and Ward. Like it's just, oh, I love it.
All right, guys. So we're having fun. We're both in a playful mood, but it is such an exciting time in the mortgage space because we are fiscal stimulus, but it is such a dark time in the world. And there's so many people that have lost jobs, that are losing jobs, that are fearful of the future. And I wanted to have this conversation with Hunter because he shares these thoughts on Sunday that are just special. Like they're really thoughtful from a man who's dedicated his life for the mortgage industry and dedicated his life to being a servant leader to both his internal team and his customers. To me, they're special. Like someone that I really respect has these words to say. And one more framing statement I want to say, and then I just want to talk about your recent Sunday thought that inspired this conversation is, guys, depending on what state you're in, what city you're in, America's opening soon. You know, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, America's opening. And for the first time in human history, we've had 30 days of quarantine, and it's changed customer expectation. It's changed customer experience. It's changed how families will think of cash reserves. It's changed a lot of things. Grandma knows what Zoom is now. Even Hunter knows what Zoom is now. And it's having fun there, Hunter.
Camera right.
Yeah. So with that said, Hunter, why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about who you are, what practice you're in, because I want to know how busy you are and how much volume you do, and then let's talk about your Sunday thoughts.
Okay. I mean, as far as background, I've been a loan officer for the last 15 years. I've been at RPM/Lend US for 13 of those years, and I've always been a producer. My average volume's 135 million a year. I have a team of 5 people that work with me that are phenomenal. Recently, I took on the position of chief production officer for the company, so I have kind of a new role inside of the company in addition to my business. And then I also, I've been coaching for the core for the last 10 years. So it's been great, but admittedly, to your point, and I know what you wanted to talk about Sunday thoughts, it's just, there's a lot for any of us, I think, in the industry right now. There's just a lot of different stuff going on, and there's a lot of moving parts. And I'm trying to manage it all as best I can. So,
and you're a husband and you're a dad.
Yeah.
And how many loans are you funding this month? What kind of volume do you have going on in your world right now?
Well, it will change, right? I mean, I'm in the Bay Area, so so my April is 31 loans for 22 million, and May is, I think we're at 38 or 39 loans for like 16 million. So as the jumbo pool of loans have, hopefully just for a moment in time, gone off the radar by and large, hopefully we'll see that come back. But yeah, we're definitely, my cheese has been moved. And I think a lot of people's cheese has been moved, and we need to adapt as well and as quickly as possible.
Got it. So guys, anybody that heard that resume knows what a special leader this is in the mortgage industry. And he's been doing these Sunday thoughts, which I always thought like I was on his A-list of friends. And I found out he's been doing this for like 8 years.
Yeah.
But just give us a quick, minute on what are Sunday thoughts and why do you do Sunday thoughts?
So literally 8 years ago, part of the coaching, when I grew up, my dad is a really good business person. And he taught me that if you spend 30 minutes on a Sunday, to 30 minutes to an hour to look at your week ahead, that it would be a better week. And for some reason, 8 years ago with my coaching students, I just happened to send out an email on Sunday saying, hey, you guys, I'm thinking about you. I got some advice from my dad a long time ago to do X, Y, and Z. And I sent it. And then for some reason, I sent it again the next Sunday. It was just some general thoughts that were going through my head. And this whole thing has just evolved where it started with just my coaching students, and then my previous coaching students wanted to stay on board. And all of a sudden, I told my CEO about it one time, and he said, why don't you add me to the list? And I mean, you read them, right? I'm kind of pouring my heart out there, and I'm kind of a guy, I'm an emotional guy, but I'm also worried about judgment and what people are going to think. So, you're kind of sharing it. It's easy to share things with people that you think have a common goal of around what you're doing. It's another thing to share things with people that you don't know, and you don't know if you're going to be judged or how they're going to feel about it. So, but over time, as I got more comfortable doing them, it's basically now, I mean, I think this is going to make you feel really special. I think there's now like 1,500 people on the list. You were number 1,499. But it's just morphed into, it's gotten into, it's basically what's going on in my head on a weekly basis, like the wins and losses that I see. Mostly it's, when I'm learning through probably negative than positive, but it's taking those negatives and turning into a positive is self-reflection. And, so it helps me probably more so than it helps anybody that's reading them, because I have to put them into terms. And then, and quite frankly, I feel like I've got 1,500 accountability partners at the end of the day. So,
well, it's a beautiful thing that you're doing it. Takeaway number one for anyone watching this right now, like, let's all start doing our Sunday thoughts, and call it that, your Sunday thoughts. And maybe you just write them down and you don't send them to anybody. You write them down for yourself. And then I do think, here's the other thing I'll say is I said it earlier, we're coming out of all this quarantine, and there will be people that are watching the news, and there will be people that are leading the news. And I think as mortgage professionals, we are uniquely positioned to be the light, be the fiscal stimulus. And if we're doing the right things internally, we're going to have the energy to just kill it. Like, what we do over the next 30, 60, 90 days will define your success for the next 2 years as a mortgage professional. So I believe that. So with that said, I thought this recent Sunday thought was important message to give to the mortgage coach community, like my community that I support. I want you guys to have a competitive advantage. I want you to be the most successful mortgage professional you can possibly be. And I want you to be the best advisor you could be. And what Hunter's going to tell you next is just a cornerstone to that. So share why you did this recent Sunday thought, and then like unpack it for people on video.
So, I'm not going to read my Sunday thoughts. If you guys want to look at them, I finally, for the first time in my life, I started posting them on Facebook. The last two I posted on, took me 8 years to get out of my comfort zone and actually post them on Facebook. So, but what Dave was talking about is, especially with everything that's been happening in the mortgage environment, my new role, I mean, I just I don't know what to do. I mean, I literally for probably a month and a half at least, just waking up I normally am pretty deliberate with morning routine. I wake up at 4:30. I go through my process. I meditate, I pray, I journal, I read, I go for a run, I jump in my pool, then I get into work. And if I do that morning routine, I'm pretty guaranteed to have a good day. And literally for the last, I don't know if it's 30, 45 days, I haven't tracked it down to the day, but basically if I don't sleep, I wake up at 4:30, I jump on email, I respond to as many as I can. And I'm part of my team, is part of their job is to respond to my emails, but they can't get to them, or their emails that they just don't know what to do with. So, and then I get into the office and I'm literally just on Zoom calls all day, on phone calls all day, and I'm just getting nowhere with anything. And you get home at night and I've got, 14 and 16-year-old, I've got my wife, they're looking for my time and attention, and quite frankly, not getting it. I'm still looking at texts, looking at emails. I need to call people back, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, just freaking miserable. You're just going through, you're kind of going, can I keep doing this? I'm 45. I seriously could have a heart attack. I'm just sitting in bed at night. I'm not sleeping, and I'm working 15 hours a day and not getting anything done, more importantly. So fast forward, I'm talking to a coaching student, I think 3 weeks ago at this point, and he's a first-time coaching student. And anyone that's in any coaching program, or the core for that matter, the first 6 months are just hell, because you're trying to change everything about your business. And this guy he basically said what I was saying. And, just as a coach, I gave him the assignment. I didn't even think about it. I just said, hey, why don't you just send me an email every day it was going to be the next 2 weeks. It's now evolved into something more. But for the next 3 weeks, just give me 3 tactical wins for your day. So wake up in the morning and by the way, morning or night before, think of 3 things that are very tactical that will help you win your day. They don't need to be complicated. You don't need to create a new business plan. It's just like talk to 10 clients, have dinner with the family, whatever is important to you so that you can put your head on the pillow at the end of the day, do it. And as I'm saying that, it's literally, I acknowledged in this Sunday Thoughts that I think for all of us, so many times the advice that we're giving other people is the advice that we need to listen to ourselves. So I said to the coaching group, I said, you guys, I'm skipping this assignment for one guy. I'm now taking this assignment and I'm in on it with you. All 4 of us are going to wake up and we're all going to do it. And then I started doing it with my other coaching students. Then I started doing it with the guys that coach me. And it's just turned in now to a morning ritual where there's actually, I think last time you and I talked, there were 15 people. Now there's 22 people on this chain where it's just 3 wins for the day. You don't need to respond to everybody. You don't need to do anything, but it's just acknowledging. And it's what's really cool about it right now is that everybody's doing it. Like it's taking place where you can just tell people are gaining momentum with it. And I'm gaining momentum with it just because it crystallizes. Another thing I wrote down, my head is always going a million miles an hour. And when I actually have to type, for me, it solidifies my thought process and it makes me be more purposeful with my day. And it makes me, I want to control what makes my day successful as opposed to just, you think about emails, right? You think about incoming phone calls, you think about all this stuff, all you're doing. If you don't have a purpose with how you're going to win your own day, then all you're doing is taking bullets from everybody else. Every incoming email, every single thing that you're like, instead of being here, it'd be like me talking to you, which I would never do. And all of a sudden this thing over here, my other screen's just emails just coming in and you're just going like this the whole time. I know this isn't new news, Dave. We've all talked about this stuff. I don't think I'm the first person to talk about 3 things to win your day. I just know that I've been doing it and it's been super impactful for my coaching students and it's been super impactful for me. And I've absolutely have seen my stress. I'm still stressed. I'm still doing my stuff, but this morning I worked out, right? I did my morning routine and I feel better. And when I put my head on the pillow at night, I feel a sense of relief as opposed to just hamster. So,
well, a sense of accomplishment. Think about it, guys. How proud of yourself would you be if you took the discipline and the time to write down the 3 things that matter most that day and you got those 3 things done?
Right.
It would just give you a sense of accomplishment and a sense of pride and a sense of clarity. So let's talk about that real quick. And then again, Mortgage Coach community, if you have a question for Hunter, we are live in the group right now. If you're watching to the recording of this and you got a takeaway from this, you like it, give it a like. And if there are 3 things, like what are your 3 things today? Put those in comments down below. I want this group to be as valuable as you'll put your attention into it. And I think this call is super important. So let's talk about 3 things, because what are some of the types of things that you're seeing? And knowing that you're a core coach, obviously, making X number of calls, but I want you to list some of the things that you think will make a loan officer successful in today's market. What are some of these things that you would like to see?
I'll go through things that I've listed out in. Today it was complete my perfect week. Like one of the things we talk about in core is theme days. And I finally realized with my new role and my, theme days being, you call realtors on Monday, you call, to do update statuses on Tuesdays to buyers, sellers, or buyers and agents. Wednesdays are past client calls. Actually, Wednesdays are pre-approval calls. Thursdays are past clients. Fridays are VIPs. I thought if I could do this for my internal role where on, Monday I'm calling branch managers, Tuesday I'm calling loan officers, Wednesday I'm talking to our recruiters, Thursday I'm talking to potential recruits, Friday I'm talking to VIPs in the company, have an internal theme day. So one of my goals at the end of the day, when you and I are done, Bridget, my admin, and I have a half an hour meeting to get this into place and get this into our calendar. Another one was to talk to 10 of our branch managers today, because I haven't implemented theme days yet. So I need to talk to 10 of our branch managers today, and I need to talk to 10 past clients today. So that would be an example of what today is. And I think it's important too, like you said, you do have to win the day. So don't set necessarily expectations that you can't. Don't set like 100, I'm going to make 100 phone calls today, because it's probably not going to happen. So make them attainable. It could be talk to 20 business partners, create a presentation for refis, whatever it is, Dave. I mean, I wish I should have pulled them up, all the different ones. I've deleted them at this point, but I mean, like, I should have just read you. It's what is going through someone's mind for the day. It could be 5 thank you cards, have dinner with the family. There's a lot of, what I'm trying to do is 1 personal one for my family and then 2 business ones. So hopefully that helps.
So one of the things that I am seeing is a massive acceleration of total cost analysis, because it's the easiest and fastest way to deliver a refi, and I know as a leader, you use it and you advocate it to your loan officers to use it. What are some of the advice you give to loan officers as it pertains to Mortgage Coach and doing total cost analysis in today's market?
Well, I think you have to have a consistent approach for I think for me, and what you and I've talked about in the past, is it takes a little while to get it going, although your team is amazing at getting people trained up on it. But once you're trained up on it, it's such a simple way and a consistent way to provide data for your clients. And that's it, right? I mean, it's just like, if you use it the same way every single time, the clients see the savings, the clients give. I don't always like to, I know there's loan officers that provide, 20 different solutions to people, but as it relates to refinances and to create clarity for people in a consistent way, in an easy way that you can just do over and over and over again, it's been amazing. So, I mean, we love it. Cool.
Yeah, sorry, I had a little tech snafu, but I am back online.
Okay.
So
did you hear
bro,
me?
I did. I could hear
Okay.
you. Yeah. So Mortgage Coach community, we are at an exciting time in the mortgage space. I interviewed Dan Rawich last week, and he said that he thought he had a good case for rates going down into the 2s. Now there's some factors on that. He said we're talking like 2 to 6 months, but we know in the mortgage space a couple things. Rates are going to stay low. Are they going to tip into the 2s? I think they will absolutely tip into the 2s. How far into the 2s, I do not know. And I only know when I listen to other people who are smarter than me. I also know that when it comes to fiscal stimulus for Americans, doing refinances efficiently and effectively is an amazing opportunity for families. It's a historical opportunity to lock in rates at lower rates and to position a family to build wealth with real estate. I personally believe that real estate is going to lead out of the recession, and it's a huge opportunity for families. I know most of you on this call believe the same thing. So it's more important than ever that we are the light, which means we have to have our own self together. So Hunter's 3 things is a way to execute better and be the light. And then I know we need to bring clarity to families. And the more clarity we can bring to families, the more successful we will be. Hunter, what are your thoughts? Do you align with this? Like, how we execute the next 30, 60, 90 days could define just an insane success for mortgage professionals over the next 2 years?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I explained it to, and by the way, one other thing too, just on Mortgage Coach, I think most of the people that are in your community, most of the people that are in my community, they really, even the lower producers are still, from an industry-wide perspective, just highly professional compared to our competition. Every time I think of you, every time I think of Mortgage Coach, I just think of, like, if I don't want to do one or whatever, it's like, or my team doesn't want to do one, the difference of having like the clarity in writing compared to your competition, who's just giving someone numbers over the phone or just giving someone, I have found, my team and I have gotten better. We used to rely on personality and just not having an amazing process, but the attention to detail and the clarity up front for people, and then delivering what you told them you were going to deliver at the end, as opposed to being super loose up front and then having the end be a cluster. Like, I think to me, that's one of the biggest values of Mortgage Coach, is just I look at it every time like I'm competing against someone else that's providing numbers on scratch paper, as opposed to clearly defined, here's what this looks like. And I mean, if you got to be nuts not to go with the person that's providing more clarity. So anyway, I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate that, brother.
But yeah, I think I told my boys, like, they're both pretty big, strong guys. They both have the ability to be like me, as far as like, if they don't work out, they're going to get big and soft. And they're both football players. And I look at our jobs the same way. Like 90 days from now, they're hopefully going to be starting up football again, and they're going to see on the field which one of their friends sat around and, ate popcorn, played video games all day and drank Coke, and which one of their friends went to the gym, or not go to the gym, but they're out at the field working out, they're doing their workouts, they're doing push-ups, that kind of stuff. Not to sound like a meathead, but like, you're going to know 90 days from now who thought of this as a giant vacation and who thought of this as an opportunity to be dialed in. And I think how we're communicating with our business partners, I think how we're communicating with our clients right now, I think it absolutely determines I think the pie is going to change, right? There's only going to be so many pieces of the pie, and I think it's going to get bigger for a few, and I think it's going to get smaller for a lot. And I think most of the people that are listening to this are part of the few.
Love that. Well, bro, I want to be respectful of your time. And the fact that you fit us into this crazy schedule of you. Hunter Marckwardt, did you say people could check you out on Facebook? Will you accept
Yeah, for sure.
friends?
By the way, you still screwed up.
I know, man.
Okay, we'll get it. Sorry, we'll get it. We'll get it.
We'll do it off camera. So connect with him on LinkedIn, connect with him on Facebook. Say thank you for the Sunday Thoughts. The guy is working hard to make impact for the people that he leads, and he loves creating impact. So, bro, appreciate you guys. If you got value, give us a like down below. Love it. Share it with your mortgage friends. And Hunter, I won't get this wrong, your name and a virtual fist bump.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for everything.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right. Talk